Hello. So in this first objective, we are going to install all of the tools that we're going to need for this class onto our machine. So the three things we're going to install are R, which is the data programming language we'll be using throughout the course. We're going to install RStudio, which is the software tool we will be using to write R code and load, clean, and analyze data. And then lastly, we're going to be installing GitHub Desktop, which is a software tool we use to transfer code from our local machine to the github.com website. This is how you're going to submit all of your assignments as links to GitHub through Elms. So in this video, I'm going to walk through installing each of those in turn. So the first thing we're going to install is R, which is the programming language. So from the web page I've provided you to work through the lab, go ahead and click this download link next to R, the programming language. And that should take us to the comprehensive R archive network. And we can download R from here. So just briefly about R. R is a programming language. There are many programming languages. Some other programming languages you may have heard of include Python or JavaScript or Java or C, or the first one I learned on is called BASIC. So R is one just like that. It's used by a lot of data scientists, statisticians, data journalists for work, doing data journalism work. For some other programming languages that if you go deeper with data journalism, you may find yourself using are Python. A lot of data journalists use Python. And then SQL is a form of a language that's designed to work with databases, and a lot of people use that. We're going to use R. I happen to like it for a lot of reasons that will be explained as we go through the course. So what we're going to do here is download the flavor of R designed for your machine. So if you have a Mac, you're going to download the Mac. If you have Windows, you're going to download it for Windows. Linux, my guess is there aren't many of you using a Linux machine, but if you are, just go ahead and download it. So I'm just going to double click that. And I'm going to pull the first one down. R as a language is regularly updated. We're on version as of this recording 4.02. So I'm just going to just click here to download this. And it's going to come down. I'm going to pause the video while it downloads. And it has completed. So I'm just going to click on the package to open it up. Then we're going to walk through the installation guide. You can pretty quickly cycle through all these. If you have a PC, I don't have a PC, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be able to show you exactly how to work, but the process is going to work something like this. And if you have difficulty, certainly you can reach out directly to me and I will be happy to help you. So continue, clicking through the license. I'll agree into it. Destination select, it's going to take about 170 megs. You may have to type in your user password in order to install. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, and we're finished there. Okay. So we've installed R. So again, that's the language that we're going to be using. Now we're going to install RStudio, which is the software tool we'll be using to write R code and load it. So we will be writing R this semester, but we will be writing it using a software tool called RStudio. So I'm going to send you a download link here. And again, I'm going to show you how to install it for a Mac because that's what I'm on. But the process will be fundamentally the same. If you're on Windows, if you're on Ubuntu or Fedora, most of you are going to be on Mac OS or Windows. So going to go ahead and click it here to download. And while that's downloading, I'm just going to go back to our page. There's a brief kind of explainer video here that's linked to from this site. It's just there's a brief walkthrough that will show you. This video is designed more for people who maybe have some facility with it, but just as a way of background, if you want to learn more about RStudio. So again, we're going to be writing our code inside of RStudio. So to install it, I'm going to double click there. And I'm going to drag RStudio to my applications folder. I already have it. If you don't have it, this will just say, it'll just move, but I'm just going to replace it. And that should move pretty quickly. Okay. So now we should be able to see it inside of my applications folder. So I'm going to close that down. And then I'm going to go back to the web page. So the last thing we're going to install here is called GitHub Desktop. GitHub Desktop is a software tool that we'll be using to transfer code that we write on our local machines to a website where we'll store an ongoing copy of it. GitHub is a very common website used by a lot of people who do data journalism, but also software developers for storing code, for working on code together. There are lots of ways to move code from your local machine to GitHub, but this is definitely the most user-friendly way to do it. So for Mac, I'm going to go ahead and download it. Again, the process is going to be fundamentally similar if you're on Windows, just like installing any other software tool. So that's coming down, and this is a little look for what it's going to look like. And I know this looks somewhat complicated, but the process, as I hopefully explain it, will be easier. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And it is open in our downloads folder, and I'm just going to drag it to the applications folder. I already have it, so it's replacing it, but in your case, it would just move. And type my password. And there is GitHub Desktop. Okay, I'm going to stop this video now, and you should be going back to the web page to get ready to move on to the next objective. So to complete this objective, you need to successfully install those three things: the R language, RStudio, and GitHub Desktop.